By the way, happening right now, there's a new friend will be joining Big Bird and all the other puppets, Muppets, if you will, on Sesame Street today. Julia is an adorable redhead who just happens to have autism. You know, 1 in 68 kids all across the country is diagnosed with autism. Sesame Street created Julia with the help of the autism community. In fact, I think they spent like a year making sure that Julia was just perfect. And joining us today is autism expert Lourdes Quintana, developmental specialist with Howard Phillips Center at Arnold Palmer Hospital. Lourdes, very good to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Aren't you thrilled that they are, A, doing this and that they spent that much amount of time, a year, making sure that Julia was exactly correct?
Absolutely. We are very excited about this because as it's very well known that autism is very individualized. So we really want to make sure that they did the appropriate research to know that they're presenting a right presentation of a child that has autism, since it varies so much from one child to the other.
Right, because we can say autism, but that can, I mean, they're severely autistic, and then there are just mild cases. Like you might not even know, and the danger might be you might not even take your child in to have them tested.
Yes, absolutely. We typically say that if you have met a child with autism, you have met a child with autism, meaning that it's a spectrum and there's so many variations. But with having Julia on Sesame Street, will give them a lot of children the opportunity to understand that it is okay for her to be involved with other children, and they're going to feel more comfortable knowing that those are the typical behaviors of a child with autism.
You've already discussed the fact that there are many, degrees of autism, but there's so many myths that are out there that, A, having Sesame Street put Julia on are going to help to debunk, correct? Yes. Because people will be more inclusive, accepting of children with autism, and they'll start those kids early.
Absolutely. Yeah. One of the most common traits of a child with autism is that they will not respond to their name or will not make direct eye contact with you. Oh. And that's something that we're going to see with Julia. Once the show starts to roll, you're going to see that she might be playing differently. And that's another myth that we really want to make sure that sometimes people think that children with autism or people with autism want to be left alone.
Right, they don't want to be friendly.
Or they don't want to be friendly or don't want to have friends. It's basically the opposite. You know, it's very important to have that piece of social emotional development on every child.
I did kind of allude to it that, maybe we wait and see what happens. That's another myth that people often fall into. You know what? Maybe my child will grow out of it, but that's not always the case.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know, autism, there's a lot of research to support that the sooner that we start working with it, early intervention, early detection is key. So if a parent has a specific concern about autism, or they might feel that there's something wrong with the child development, they should talk to their physician and bring it up and look for answers. Don't wait it out, because the sooner that we could start working, the better outcome we'll have.
Lourdes, if people want to find out more about autism, maybe they're concerned, they're seeing some signs perhaps in their child, how can they get in touch with you, or how can they just find out more about autism?
Well, definitely we recommend that they talk to their physician first, but then we also are, we have the Early Steps program, and we're part of the Howard Phillips Center, which is also part of Arnold Palmer Hospital. So we definitely would encourage the families to go on our website at arnoldpalmerhospital.com, and they could get more information on how to get a screening and how to get help.
And there is still the word autism. There is still a bit of a stigma that goes along with it, but parents should not be concerned, because there's so much that can be done that your child could lead a perfectly normal life.
Absolutely.
Correct?
Autism is pretty much just a diagnosis, and there's so much more that we could work with the child, and a lot of more possibilities for them. So we cannot fear that diagnosis and just work with the child.
Lourdes, we appreciate you coming in so much.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll be watching Sesame Street a little bit later on.
Yes,
okay.
Great.
And welcoming Julia. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Let's